Money is only received based upon the principles and the values that the founder carries. It's a belief. You can't build a company based on an Excel sheet or based on a projection. So money was always last thing on the mind. Doing something, giving solutions to people was always a priority. See what happens when you are alone. So you fall in love with whatever you're thinking. One of the statements that I always make is money is the last thing that is required to do any business. So you learn from everybody you meet. Don't discount people.
Hi all, welcome to the Strategic Pulse. I'm your host Sudarshan Praveen. Today we have Mr. Arun Vas. He is a practicing chartered accountant and also a dynamic entrepreneur with an intention to make a difference. He is the founder of Bharat Valley and co-founder of Cloud Mojo Tech and Transformatics Global. In this episode, we will deep dive into his journey, the challenges which he faced, and lessons he has learned along the way. We will also share some practical tips on how one can open their own chartered accountant firm and probably even some tax saving tips in the end. Stay tuned and watch the entire episode till the very end. Thank you.
Hi, sir. Welcome to the show. Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
So you have had an inspiring journey transitioning from a practicing chartered accountant to founding multiple ventures. Can you briefly share your entrepreneurship journey?
See, I am an accidental entrepreneur. I never dreamt of neither anybody in my family is an entrepreneur. So I was very comfortable at the place that I was working at Iranandani. So one fine day, I just woke up with a feeling that I'm born to do something really great. And that started growing inside me. So just to share with you, so when I woke up with that thing, with that thought in mind, so I had a notebook. So I just changed the username to Legend at that point in time. And usually in a day, you at least 40 to 50 times you type that. So that started something inside me started growing. So I used to play cricket on Sundays. We had a tournament. So they asked me what to print at the backside. I said, you print Legend. So something inside started growing. So there were two things that I realized. See, if I have to do something big, I can't change anything being in an organization. So I have to take the plunge. So the only person that I could speak to was my wife. So I asked her whether this is something that is happening inside me. What do you feel? She said, if you are feeling like that, you take a chance. Worst you can come back and get back to another jobs, and it should not be a problem. She said, I'll take care. You don't worry, and see what happens. So January 16, 2018, I started this journey, and it has been maybe in the last 7 years, if I say, I might have traveled a distance of maybe 50 to 60 years with the kind of people that I've been fortunate to meet. And it's been a really interesting journey.
Wow. So typically, if you're career rooted in audit taxation, uh, how did you take a transition to driving innovation across different industries? Because you have founded Bharat Valley, co-founded Cloud Project and Transformatives Group. Would you like to share something about that?
You missed out MetaVN and you missed out Texturance.
Oh, wow.
So, see, all these streams which are there, all of them were mostly my clients. So, like if we say Cloud Mojo, so Cloud Mojo was my client. Parvez, the co-founder, was my client, and he was good at something. So, somewhere down the line, I have always been available for people. So, how most CAs, once they travel a journey and they are handholding a client, after that they move out and there is somebody else who takes care of that client. So, what my journey has been, I've been trying to make myself available. If you from a peon of a company who has to file a return to the CEO of a company who has to file his individual return or who wants to discuss some business strategy. Anybody and everybody who has called me, I've made myself available to be there if I was there in town and I have the time. So I never made excuses that this person is not worth it or this person might not give me some revenue. So money was always a last thing on the mind. Doing something, giving solutions to people was always a priority. So that took precedence over everything else. And people saw that. People started liking that. And they started discussing bigger opportunities wherein we could contribute in each other's journey. And that's how these companies were formed.
Wow. Like you mentioned, you maybe founded and co-founded companies and they were your clients initially. So how important do you think co-founders and partners are to business compared to starting solo?
See what happens when you are alone. So you fall in love with whatever you're thinking. And you don't have somebody who is there to validate, who's there to tell you that this is not right, there is another way to do things. Because from our point of view, always I believe in this, every problem has minimum 2 solutions. So this is what, when you like, I would talk more about Cloud Mojo here, because between Parvez and me, whenever we have to go to somebody, we have to target and close a big order, and you have to go and speak to some maybe at a somebody at a government level or somebody at a big CEO of a company. So what we do, we interchange positions. We try to put each other in the, like, once I'll be Cloud Mojo and he will be the client, and then we try to pitch to the client, and he will give a feedback with the where we are going right and where we are going wrong, and then we'll reverse the roles. So I'll be the client and he'll be the company, and that way we have a very strong holding whenever we are going to the third person, and we are in so much sync that whenever I stop, he starts, he stops, I start, and there is total sync, and that is the magic that people like to see. That as co-founders, you are totally in sync. You are speaking the same language. You are having the same kind of enthusiasm. You are having the same vision. You share the same vision, and that is what is more important in what you're trying to build.
Okay. So I believe you initially started after leaving your job, your own CA firm. So what was the trigger point for that?
That's what I said, Navin. So I felt that I want to do something new. I didn't have any vision or uh, this drawing board where I had put something in mind that this is what exactly I want to do. So I thought, being in profession, I had a skill set, and I was also once I cleared my CA and I was an auditor at Hiranandani, I was also helping my principal with his business part time. So that gave me a flavor of practice. So what was happening in and around the practice world. So I was just doing that as a means help to him, but it gave me interaction with different people. So then there was a Christian business networking group which is called as Dimensions. So somebody told me about that. So here Christian business people come and they help each other and to support each other and grow together. So I thought this is a good platform. So being very close to the church and all, I thought I have a talent, so I will go and reach out to people, and if there is a need, I can help them with whatever they want. So that became a blessing in disguise. So my role, I was an auditor at Hiranandani, so people used to look up to me like he must be doing a lot of things over here and handling big projects. So because of that, people started reaching out to me with the bigger problems that they had. So whatever studies I had to do for clearing my CA, I had to study more than that when I had to reply to them. Because you can't say, because as a profession and as a moral duty, I felt that I should reach out and to more and more people with whatever problems they have. So that knowledge wise, it gave me a different kind of a foothold. Like I was leading the audit practice, is the audit team in Hiranandani, but I was also getting an opportunity to interact with people who are having tax problems or having some accounting problems or whatever problems were thrown to me. I used to talk to people in my circle, find out a solution, and get back to them. So people like that approach. So more and more people started talking to me, and unknowingly created a base for me to get into practice.
Wow.
Yeah.
The viewers would definitely like to know something which would probably save tax, but which is not very common. So, do you want to say something about that?
See, like on the tax front, I believe everybody should earn more, look at earning more and paying more tax. So one of the personal goals that I had in the next 5 to 10 years, I should be somebody who is paying 100 crore of tax.
Wow.
Yeah, rather than getting into means of, maybe I'd say knowledge is good to share and do the right thing, but not to get into a mode where, because when you start earning more, unknowingly you start getting into modes where you feel the burden of paying tax. You're not in thought process that you are earning more, your disposal income is more. So it's okay to pay more tax.
Correct.
But there are multiple hacks from small and medium, like agriculture income doesn't have tax. So there are different things, different hacks which are there. One of the things that I would like to share is about startups. So everybody feels that the startup registration is done and that is the thing. But more than that, there is an exemption that you get, that there is a tax holiday for 3 years out of 10 years if you are a startup. So people are not aware of that. So there are, I don't know the exact number, but there are lakhs of startups which are registered under the startup registration scheme. but they don't have the tax exemption. So these are things which we educate people. We try to get them in sync and how to avail the schemes which are there with the government.
So these ventures which you have collaborated with your partners, how did you find these opportunities? I understand you know your client first, but what business gap did you find here to get into this space?
See, more so, it was from their need point of view, and everything was built on emotion. It was not something that was planned in a manner that it will become the way it is today. Like Cloud Mojo was born in the pandemic. So during the pandemic, I had a necessity that I had to come out of my house, of my comfort zone, because we had taken a bigger setup in Vidya Vihar, which was around 5,000 square feet in September 2019. And in February of 2020, we hired the most number of people.
Okay.
And in March, we paid people whom we didn't see also. I mean, they were on our rolls, but we didn't see that. Means a few of them, but we paid them. And for me also, it was like a 1 month holiday, which I also do what everybody is doing. Like somebody is making coffee and whatever the trends were going on. So at home also, I also enjoying that and thinking that after 1 month, everything will be back to normal. So after that, uh, the first lockdown got extended. So it became a little bit scary to have a huge setup, incur a cost which you are not using it. So it was very stressful. So whenever the first lockdown got relaxed and people were limited in a limited way, they were allowed to go out. So I didn't have any option because I had to go to office and put the server on. So I was the only one sitting in my office in that 5,000 square feet and means locking the door from outside. I used to sit inside. So people got very much excited with the fact that somebody is out. So people used to call me and talk to me and wanting to know ki, what is happening, what are you doing, how is our things with you. So for some reason, I have been right from childhood. I've been a very positive person. However, negative, you put me in a situation or you ask me, tell me about 3 things which are negative with you in your lifetime. I don't think I will be able to tell you one thing. But if you ask me what are the 5 things that are positive that has happened in your life, maybe at one stretch I can tell you about 200 things. So I've been always grateful for the little blessing that I've received. So I count them. I means love to tell about them to everybody who is around me, who knows me. So whenever like co-founder of Cloud Mojo, Parvez, he used to ask me, he used to call me and start talking to me and ask me how are things. I used to always tell fantastic. And I had seen Manji pictures that time. So I used to always tell Shandar, Jabardast, Zindabad. And Zindabad used to be a little louder than the other 2 words. So that used to, he started liking to talk to me. Then he started discussing ideas. So he had a very routine computer business wherein he was serving people. He was serving people who are up there, people from Bollywood, top CEOs. And he used to get paid every time he used to go somewhere. So when the lockdown happened, so all these people stopped paying him. So he understood that the model that is operating all these years is there is some gap in that. And he said, let's do something together. And we had a big space and we didn't have that many people over there. So I said, let's do something. So we started with an idea which didn't take off, but we came together. So we used to share the same cabin. So there were a lot of brainstorming sessions. There were a lot of people who used to come to meet us, like meet me, and he used to get a flavor of the different kind of people who were coming. So like that, things one thing led to another, and I can proudly say that today means the last 4 years, Cloud Mojo has got like it's the favorite company of the government where we're giving solutions to them. So last year we have an order on our name, which is around $4 million. Yeah. So in totality, there are work orders around 50 to 60 CR. And we have partnerships with some big companies like AWS, Fujifilm, CBSL, Yota. So all these big companies are in line with us. We're working with them, giving solutions and making each other stronger. So the whole, if you see, the whole ecosystem has been built in a manner where we get associated with more people. We try to create a situation which is a win-win for both of us and also for the people whom we are serving. So it's always a win-win-win model. So it's not taking advantage of anyone. You call it at the CA practice or you call it in the businesses that we are doing. It's a model where everybody wins. Everybody goes home happy. There is not a single soul who is not who feels that he has been shortchanged with the situation that was at hand.
So, can you also briefly describe what the business model is for all your ventures so viewers have an idea?
See, like as Transformatrix, we have means we bring a different flavor together. So we were more from the service side. So we used to support people on the recruitment and finance. So this is the two basic pillars on which a business stands. The idea and everything comes, but you have to have the people thing in place. You have to have the financing in place. So that was a model where people looked up to us, where we can partner with them, and also with the growing network that we have. So these are the three things which we leverage on with the other people. That some people, the other person who comes with the talent, he has a major stake in the company, and we support him with all these ancillary services, also with the strategy and the networking part. So that becomes a like a comprehensive solution. Like the journey that Clown Mojo has traveled in the last 4 years, it is very difficult for any company to be at that stage at where we are. So we hire the best of the people. So initially when we started, we used to hire people at maybe with less experience because we thought we can tell them what to do and we'll get that in return. But that was a model we very soon realized it doesn't work that way. So if you have to do something really big, you have to have big guys on the table. So today we have a very wonderful team. We have team that's like who have 20 years of experience. So they lead the company with the product team that we have. The ideas are ours and they support us and they add on to even what we are thinking. So that is a very beautiful position to be in. Rather than having a team who follows you throughout, even in the CA practice, people are contributing right from the ideation to the execution on every level.
So, what about your business model in Bharat Valley at the other two ventures which you mentioned? So, recently started.
So Bharat Valley was born out of lot to do for India. That's why the name is also like that. Because unknowingly, I have acted like an incubation and accelerator. So if you see the companies that we are, so the distance that each company has traveled, they have traveled a very long distance in a very short time. So we thought we can do that in a very more comprehensive and structured manner. So we have taken some very good people as like there's a team of around 30 to 35 people who are each one is a company in itself. So right from the 5 people from the government, 5 people from an investment side, 5 people from the like each set has a 5 people team wherein they are from different industries and when we can cater to companies in a very professional manner. And the whole idea was born in a manner where we want to support people in the age group of 35 to 50, wherein people have reached their pinnacle. They are being associated with an organization where they have made some money. They're at the top level at that organization. They made good money. They have made good contacts and they have seen the world and they have an experience and they have some idea which they want to execute. But what happens as you climb the ladder in the corporate world? It becomes very lonely at the top and also it becomes very scary to come down and see what is happening at the ground level. You have an idea, but you take a lot of time in deciding. You must have heard of the term analysis paralysis because people keep analyzing so much because you don't know what is a good number to have. And in that age group, 35 to 50, what happens? Your kids are growing up, your parents are aging. So every time you think that you have to do something, there is something that happens where there is a spend that you have to do, which is more than what you regularly do. Maybe some medical emergency at home, so there is some money that goes there. Maybe your kids are growing and you have to send them abroad. So that every time you try to take a step ahead in front, you come not 2 steps, you come 4 steps back. And you think, no, accumulate a little more and then I will take this. I'll accumulate a little more. Well, I've interacted with a lot of people who have always asked me what is the right amount that I should have so that I can leave this. And whatever amount you say, if you say a 5 crore, that person will say and accumulate 5 crores. And when that accumulation is there, he said, I think I can take another 6 months, I can accumulate another crore more, and then I can come out. So that number is just a myth.
Okay.
So one of the statements that I always make is money is the last thing that is required to do any business. So what we have built today is totally unimaginable from even my point of view. Because on the background that I've come and the family history that we have, Nobody in a family can visualize what we have been built unknowingly. So this has, with all the companies and wherever I'm associated, I can proudly say the underlying principle is the faith that whatever I have required tomorrow, by today evening, like it's somewhere from something happens and it is always there. So there has never been a case till today, that I want something tomorrow and I've received that day after tomorrow. It is always there a day before. Morning, I might not be having it, but before the end of the day, it is always there. So that faith has grown more stronger, and it's the belief that has been able to put all these things together. And it is the same belief that has also transpired to the other people, the co-founders that are there with me. So they are also very strongly, and we have taken steps which is totally unimaginable. Means even if we sit back and just go to see why we did this, it is not means even we would have not been able to take those decisions. But everything has fallen into place, and I can proudly say it till today, God has given me everything that I've asked for. So as of today, I feel scared to ask him something because he should not be under pressure. Like I know that he will give. So I am very careful about asking anything for him or disturb him with what he is trying to do. So, but it's been a wonderful journey so far, and I know that it will continue because we have built a very wonderful team. So I get very motivated and happy to get up in the morning and go to office, and so is the case with everybody who is there in office. So like it's a wonderful place to be. Like means nothing more that can be asked for.
Like you mentioned earlier, that money is the last thing required to do business. What advice do you have to aspiring entrepreneurs who usually face rejections of investors when they go for pitching for some idea?
See, whenever you go and are you looking at someone, don't look at them with the point of view that you have to take some money from them. Go to them with a point of view that what you can give to them. What is the kind of companies that they're investing in? What are the kind of companies that they want to get associated with? How you can make them understand that you are the company that they should be getting associated with. So that's what is like investment and all, numbers and all, Excel and all is just a myth. Like people feel you can show fancy numbers. You can be ripped up in 5 minutes. Like somebody who understands business now. We have interacted with people, and we have also gone through situations where there is a person who's there at a very senior level. If he's there, he can rip you out in 5 minutes. The questions that they can ask if they don't want to put the money. Money is only received based upon the principles and the values that the founder carries. It's a belief. You can't build a company based on an Excel sheet or based on a projection. You are also a chartered accountant. So you can play with numbers and you can make something very fancy. A presentation can be absolutely amazing, but you won't get money on that. The money will be received only when there is conviction, and the conviction you believe. You believe that if you had money, you will also put in this business. And you have to also show that you have also been associated and you also put and taken some, like you, as you say, that skin in the game. So I would say that we have all our bones also in the game, not only the skin. We have put our bones also, so it becomes very relatable for the other person. So the people who have been associated with us, we have raised money. The day we have gone to someone, we have taken money, and they have come into on board on that day itself because we have been associated with them. So we have taken time. Today we are in a planning to raise some serious amount, and we are talking to some big guys, but it takes time. So when the equation changes, it takes time. But that's what I'm telling. If you're very serious and if you're ethical and if you're very convinced about the fact that what you're doing is right now, you will get what you want when it is needed the most. As I said, you don't have to wait for a day after tomorrow. That will never happen in your life. But you have to have that belief. You can't go to someone with a feeling and expectation that this is a person who should be funding my business. We should go with a value proposition. People will put money.
Do you believe in the power of manifestation?
I don't know, Messi. I don't read books and all that much. But I have always, as I said, I believe, I don't know whether it's manifestation or something, but I get those visions and everything that I've thought of has happened so far. Like I never imagined that I would be having so many people working with me. So all companies put together is a fancy number today that they are operating on. And it's unbelievable. So I don't, now today, the biggest motivation that I have is to fulfill the dreams of the people who are associated with us. Like our dreams are very minimum today. Like I don't have a dream or I don't have something that I'm looking forward to. But it is their dreams that makes me get up every morning and go to office and build something around them, that the least of the person in the organization on the chart, he should also have the maximum benefit that a company can provide.
I'm sure you must have worked with a lot of entrepreneurs and startups. What are the typical qualities or attributes you see in them which ensures a probable success in the future?
So there are different kind of entrepreneurs. So there are also entrepreneurs who are in the business of raising money. So that is a very, what to say, not a good position to be in, because in the long run that gets exposed, and you have seen a lot of startups failing as well. They have been the blue-eyed boys, but not been able to sustain, because once you get into that mode, it is a very difficult mode to be in. But once you're in a mode where you're responsible towards the people who have helped you with whatever they have, who have shown their faith and belief in you, then everything starts working out. Things which you yourself felt that you are not capable of, that also starts materializing. So there are different kind of entrepreneurs. There are a set of entrepreneurs who are very ambitious. There are a set of entrepreneurs who are very realistic. There are a different kind of entrepreneurs. So it's very interesting. So being a chartered accountant is a biggest blessing that I believe has happened in my life, because people connect with you right from the time go. Even a bigger person or a smaller person, they believe that you can understand what they're trying to tell you. They believe that you will have a solution to the problem that they have from every aspect, right from the strategy, right from a tax problem, right from an income tax problem. But it is how you project yourself. So the more you interact with these kind of people, the more ideas you get. Your belief starts becoming stronger and stronger. So that's what.
Since you have come to this income tax problem, what are the common mistakes which individuals do when they file their ITRs and how can they avoid them?
See, common mistakes a lot. Today everything is digital. So people feel that they can do what they can do, and they try to save and feel that it is very easy to do things. But there are multiple things that happen. If you tick a wrong box, there is some notice which will come immediately. Because today you don't have to wait for a year to get a notice. Maybe if you do something wrong today, you get notice tomorrow. Your tax calculation, the deductions, filling in the wrong column, because you should leave that job to an expert rather than, like, I'm talking about the solution. It give it to an expert. It happens. Somebody is doing it day in and day out. So you are a trader. So I am not a trader. I don't look at the share market also. So if I, just because you are doing very good in what you're doing, I cannot get up tomorrow morning and start doing and trying to implicate and trying to replicate what you're doing. So that is a very wrong thing to do. Leave the job to the experts and you do your work. So there is no stress for anybody.
And say for entrepreneurs who are starting out, what form of company should they form? Should they go in sole proprietorship, private limited, or partnership?
This depends upon the scale that you are planning to operate and the vision that you have for a business. If you are maybe not planning to do much, and your business structure is such that there will be not much money required in future, you don't have to raise money. If you have to raise money, then private limited is the right structure to be in. But if you're operating at a very small or minimal level, maybe in the next 5 years you don't see your revenues going beyond maybe 2 to 3 CR, so then you can go with a sole proprietorship, because you have advantages of using of not maintaining books of records. Then you can have a 6% flat income that you can offer. So there are less assets, because the government level also, they don't want to get and go after people who don't have that kind of a turnover. So it becomes easier for you also. And if you have people associated with you, you have means partners with you. So then you have to really think about the structure, and that depends upon then the other person also. What are his expectations with you? between you all, what are the arrangement. So the structure of the company will depend upon that.
And since you're involved in so many ventures, how do you manage all of that together? Do you operate everything from the same office?
No, we have different offices, but one of the things that I had heard somewhere is the busiest person has time for everything. So it's the other way around to look at this. People who don't want to be somewhere, they make excuses. So they might not be, but if you have the intent, you have time for everything. So there has never been a case that I was required somewhere, I am not there.
Wow.
With all the companies that are there, so everything gets managed. So I'm telling you, it's more about respecting each other, having the right attitude. So that is what matters the most. It is not about that you are. See, entrepreneurship is what you have to be where you have to be, and the other way is the employment. If you have to be at a specific time for at a particular place, then that is not entrepreneurship. So you have to decide. So that's one of the most important thing, and the only thing that an entrepreneur has to do is decision making. You don't have any other job to do. So I decided that I have to come here, but somebody came there. I was a little late, so I ensured that I dropped you a message also,
Yeah.
and I was there at that time. So these are the basic things that I try to do and try to keep in mind, that I'm always available where I'm required, and nothing suffers because of me not being there.
What's your advice for aspiring entrepreneurs for 2025?
See, I'm not someone who is in a position to give any advice, but I mostly would like to share my journey. And I'm telling you, believe. You have one of the things that I also say to people, that there is a thing called as, if you're believing, then it is 100%. There cannot be something which is 99.99%. So that is what I have operated. That is how I have operated. I have trusted somebody 100%. So if it was not the right thing, then it was an experience for me. I never regretted that. I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that. Whatever has happened, I've taken it as a learning. Even for the people who are working and associated with me, my colleagues and the team that I have, for them also, if the mistake has happened, first mistake that happens, I take that responsibility. But the same mistake should not be repeated. If it happens the second time, then you have to bear the consequences of that. If it is the first time, I will bear whatever is there, whatever damages, whatever wrong that happens, X, Y, Z, I take that responsibility, because you are allowed to do that mistake. But if you are repeating that mistake, then whatever comes with that, you have to take that. So with that attitude, things have become very easier, because people then become more responsible. People don't like somebody else taking onus of your mistake. So that is something that I've personally seen. So you get a totally reformed person after that. But with whatever you must have seen in your life, whenever there is something that wrong happens, the people have a habit of maybe shouting at them, telling them, "Arey, you should have been more careful. This, what all, I don't know." There is a list of things you can think of and recollect, that if you see that is the situation that has not gone right, so people will react in a different manner. So what I do is, I don't do anything at that point. I take a step back. I try to absorb what has happened. I try to analyze and assess what is it and how to get that right. Because that is an event which has happened. Me shouting at that person will not change anything. Only thing is, he'll have something against me as well. So I take a step back. And this is something that I've learned from my wife, because not reacting to situations brings a lot of positivity, and puts you in a different situation. It puts you in a situation of power. That going forward, you are able to do things in a better manner, and you get a reformed person and a trustworthy and a loyal employee for life.
So, in short, your advice is for the aspiring entrepreneur to be accountable, to be responsible, to not do anything half-heartedly, and also to react only when required. Otherwise,
Absolutely. And believe in yourself and also the people who are associated with. Either you believe or you don't.
so since you work with so many people, how do you approach hiring the right talent and also retaining them?
So as far as my line of work goes, so there is not a single technical question that we ask. The more assessment is about the attitude of the person, whether he'll be able to gel with the people who are already there, whether he'll be able to adapt to the people who are already there, whether he should not come and create a situation where what I have created so far gets disturbed. So the assessing parameters, I till today, all the people that I have, I've never asked them a single question, which is technical. Okay, because maybe somebody who is looking out for a job, and also there are people, a lot of people recommend people to us. So if the person who has come to us is in need of a job more than what we need that person, we still give him that opportunity. We keep him for a particular period of time. If he is right, he will be in the system. If he's not right, automatically he gets out of the system. So people who are good, we keep them, and there is something or the other that comes up for them.
Yeah. I am sure mentorship also plays a very important role. Do you have any mentors and how did they guide your path so far?
Like I have many mentors, like I've seen them, looked up to them, and wanting and aspired to be like them. So because I spent most of my life at one place, so everybody is a mentor there. Maybe Sridhar sir, Niranjan sir. So the opportunities to interact with them, like whenever means I feel that it is an important day, I make it a point. I go there. I have a 5 minute chat with Mr. Niranjan, and you come like we come out of the cabin like a different person altogether. So he fills you with so much power that you can take on anything and everything on the outside in the outside world. So there are many people. Yeah, it's like Dimensions has been a very strong support and very it's changed me as a person. I used to not speak at all. I used to have the best of ideas right from school, college, and when I was in employment. But I used to never be able. I was never vocal about it. What I used to do is I used to always keep thinking that if I say this, what will you say? So there came a point in life where this thing stopped, and my life changed after that. Because I realized कि if the other means I should leave the thought process of the other person to himself. I should speak my mind. Whatever it is, he will speak what he has to speak. So there is no filter now. Today, what I'm not thinking that there is a total what to say. I'm in sync with whatever I'm thinking. I'm able to speak. But previously, what used to happen for most part of my life is I used to think, I used to analyze, I used to try to be more correct. And when you do that, na, when there is a time gap in the thought process and what comes out of what you're speaking, so it is always the other thing that you'll end up speaking. You'll not be able to you'll not be able to speak what you're thinking. So when you're very free, when you're very sure, when you're very confident about yourself, maybe the English might not be that grammatically, there might be some gaps, but I'll be able to relate to people and I'll be able to communicate to them what I'm trying to tell. My feelings, my body language, what I'm speaking, what I'm trying to make them understand. That way is conveyed in a very efficient and very effective manner.
So somebody who's just starting out, how should they find their mentors? And I also believe networking is very important. So how should they go about networking as well?
See, you learn from everybody you meet. Don't discount people. Don't only go to people who are up there. Even somebody who is walking on the road, also a vendor, a taxi driver, they also will teach you something which will be a game changer for you. You don't have to go and look out for mentors. You will find them along your journey. Because if you are very specific and clear about what you want to do, you will find the right people who get associated with you, who you'll find the right people who will guide you, and all that will be definitely coming your way. But you have to have the clarity what you want to do. Because if you are following somebody and that person is telling you what you should be doing, then you are not an entrepreneur at all. So that decision, as I told you, entrepreneur is having only one job is to take decisions, nothing else. Everything else, because if you take decision, if it is not the right thing, you have to make it right. If it is the right thing, there is no better position to be.
Daily practicing chartered accountant, what are your thoughts on the CA profession today?
As I told you, CA is the biggest blessing that I have. My life changed maybe 720 degrees, not 300. It changed twice over
Okay.
because of just having that degree. Because this is the most respected degree all over the world. Because people, as I told you before, people will relate to you right from the point zero. You don't have to tell anybody else. Nobody will ask how much money you are making. Nobody will ask what you are doing, how you are managing this, that, everything. They will start with what problem they have and they'll start talking that to you because they look up to you and feel that you are up there and you will be having some solution to that. So it is CA is the best thing to do. And so one of the also I would just like to add, like one of the things that we do is anybody who is struggling to become a CA, we also keep them. We don't look at there are people who have been not able to be clear CA for 5 years, 10 years. So they are also at a scale which is not required at our organization, but we give them a leeway that you come in and what is your basic requirement as per your family commitments, X, Y, Z, whatever is there, we'll take care of that. And tell us how much leave do you want. So that is one of the questions that we ask, and you can't change that. That is the only thing that you have to adhere to. Like if you say that I will be taking only 15 days leave, so your career will be planned in a way that you clear your CA. And there are multiple people who have cleared in this manner in our organization. Yeah.
But say, given the rise in the corporate jobs and high paying salaries after becoming a freshly qualified chartered accountant, would you advise anybody to start their own CA firm?
Many people are aspiring to start and be on their own today. So those who are clearing, people have different aspirations, but what I see that there is a very strong shift into people getting into practice because they see a lot of opportunities there. The world has opened up. So not only practice as a practice, but also doing different things. There are different roles that a CA plays. Like the time that I cleared, people only knew about audit, taxation, and accounting. So today, as a chartered accountant, maybe there are at least 30 streams that I can think of, like from business advisory, like from strategy, like from process, like system audits. There are different things that the CA does today. It's CA. I'm telling you, it's a very fantastic degree to have.
What steps would you recommend them to start their own CA firm? How
Start
did they go about it? Yeah.
start meeting more people and creating a base before you start a practice. Like first, there are family, there are friends. Try to get and understand what is the target audience that you have, which is very accessible and which will trust you and start trusting you with their work. So if you get that, you have to start with something. Just starting and then looking out for clients is a very difficult position to be. Anybody who wants to be an entrepreneur should at least know what will be the daily routine be like. I can't wake up tomorrow and not know what I will be doing. So you should have a clear path defined for you. If not work-wise, but at least the kind of people that I want to meet, the kind of base that I want to create. So all that should be very well thought of, and it should be in a very planned manner. Work will follow, money will follow.
But say a freshly qualified chartered accountant who doesn't have any networks of clients, how should he or she go about acquiring their first job?
Everybody has a network. You might not have a network of clients. You are fresh, but you have a network of your own. So that's why I said you have a friends, you have a family. So you have to have an anchor where you can go and everybody, like being in the country that we are, we always have friends and family to support us. So you have to give them a value proposition. What you will be doing for them. If you just stick to them without having a plan that what is the work that you'll be doing for them, it will be a very difficult position. Like somebody who is blindly supporting you will become totally against you. So you have to give that comfort to the other person that this is what I'll be taking care of and start with an anchor client, which is majorly required if anybody wants to get to practice. Because if things don't turn out to be the way they have to, it becomes very scary. Because in the first 2-3 months only, you will realize ki baba, if it is not going, and you start panicking. Because today's generation doesn't have that patience.
Right.
Because what you wake up in the morning and you have WhatsApp status of your friends, like somebody is gone to the UK, somebody is gone to the US, somebody's got a job at McKinsey, somebody is working at BCG. So all that then starts creating doubts in your mind. So it is very difficult period that you are growing up. The freshly qualified people, we didn't have that kind of challenges. We were getting that time to come out of our own. Like when I came out of Hiranandani, so that time I also didn't have that many clients. But I had the belief that I will get. And I was very fortunate that within 3 months, I bagged Kandivli Thakur. So because of that, what happened, everybody started taking me very seriously. Ki, "Arey, he has something in you." And that client was got only because I had a background at Hiranandani. So you need to, and then I started telling everybody about it. So one of the best things that I do now is I update everyone with whatever I'm doing. Like if I meet you today and if I meet you tomorrow evening again, so whatever happened in the from the time I left today till the time I meet you tomorrow, I will automatically be in a position that I will tell you everything. Okay. Without planning to do that or without doing that consciously. So that has become like an habit and that has become like the major strength. So people are aware today that I'm doing different things and I'm doing everything because there is a separate person who is doing it in that company. It is not me who is doing everything. So there is a team, there is a structure in place, and there are people who are doing it. Everything is being managed very efficiently. So that is where the belief the people are showing in other different companies because of that.
So, see, if they're starting out and they manage to get their clients, what is the approximate cost of setting up a CA firm? What are the various costs involved, and what are the various revenue streams? And also, how long does it take for them to be probably break even? And what are the profit margins?
So it is upon case to case. If you have to, if you get an opportunity, you have to seize it. You can't start looking at, see, money should be the last thing that you're thinking of. If you create a base, na, money will automatically follow. But don't try to get into a mode where you are spending more than what you're getting. But if you have the backup, you can take that liberty also. But once you create the base, automatically you start getting different types of engagement. Once people start knowing, as a fresher who is coming into practice, the basic thing is people should know what you are capable of. So how do you let that known to people? Is about showcasing your skills by getting associated with them. Or maybe there is one more thing that you can maybe tie up with somebody whom you know who is already into practice. Take some assignment for him so that there is a backup that is always there for you. And get into smart associations where everybody makes something out of it. So that gives you a safety net. Because it takes time. Everything takes time. I've been fortunate that everything happened very before I could realize that this is something might go wrong, something big happened every time. I just like to share one more thing that I thought of. Like the first means like very premium employee that we had in Cloud Mojo. So he was from a very senior, means very reputed company, 20 years of experience, and he was known to my co-founder. So we got him on board, gave him an offer, and he accepted that offer and he resigned at his previous company. And there was a notice period. He was serving that notice period. 1 week before that, he just came to meet us. I was on the in office. So he met Parvez and he was sitting with Parvez. And he said, uh, see, don't feel offended, but I will get a job anywhere. You should not be under pressure after taking me. So I'm just requesting that if you want to, you think over again. And I also have an offer where I am getting something more than that. I would love to work with you. I want to work with you. But me coming on board should not create a pressure situation for you. So somebody coming and telling you that creates a doubt in the other person's mind also, na? So Parvez also got a little confused. Then he just called me on loudspeaker. It's like that means we call him. We said he's come and this is what he's telling. So what we should do, Parvez? I don't know. Because then I said, "Ki, tell him that if he has 3 or 4 people more like him, ask him to get them as well." करके. So that gave him the confidence. That gave my co-founder also the confidence. And this came up after 3 4 months. Some situation was there. That time he said, I started believing in the company when this statement was made. And I didn't realize also that I had made that statement. So that has become like a game changer in our company. Like the belief that we have carried until today, we have never defaulted. Salaries have already always been paid on 10th or before that. Like last March was a holy. There were 3 days that were off, 8, 9, 10. So we processed the salaries on the 7th. Diwali also was, I think it's system 7th or 8th. We processed it on the 2nd. So we see being an entrepreneur is my thing. Right. The employees come for that commitment from you that you will be paying on a particular day. So till today we have never been in a situation we have not been able to pay them on that day. So that is the only thing that is very important for me. And As long as I am there, it will be always continue, because that is something, it's a non-negotiable thing. So if I believe, if I'm not being able to pay them on the 10th, then I'm not fit to be an entrepreneur. So that is what I believe very strongly.
What do you think is the future for the CA firms and freshly qualified chartered accountants, considering the automation, finance, and forensic technology? Should they focus on any specific areas of specialization?
See, change is inevitable. It will keep happening. So if you look at me as a chartered accountant, I've already got into a company wherein we are doing AI at a big level. We are having a research lab inside IIT Bombay. So we are interacting with the biggest brains, best of the brains of India. So we are leveraging upon our connections. So you can't define anything. So previously, if you see the journey from a transistor to a television, everything used to take at least 10 to 15 years. Different things that used to come from that old TVs that we had to a flat screen. Maybe that also maybe was a 10 to 15-year journey. But once the flat screen came to that LED, to that whatever you say, all that started happening very quickly. So today also you will learn something in the evening which might be totally redundant in the morning, because when you are sleeping, somebody is working in the US. So there is a different place in the world. There is somebody working upon something which you don't know. So you have to be ready to adapt to whatever and wherever the world is moving. So you can't, means people used to, means when people used to take interviews, they used to say, what is your 5-year plan? What is your 10-year plan? I don't see that happening anymore. You have to be ready to adapt to whatever is happening around you, and you have to be up there. You can't be a mediocre person trying to have the best of the life. You have to be the best of the person to have the best of the life, and you have to work your way out. You can't say that you want to have so much time for this, so much time for that, and not do justice to the company that you built. Having a company is a very, maybe it's a 24-hour job. You have to be available whenever you're required. You can't say that this is, I sleep for this period of time, so I will not be available. So you have to be available because it is your baby. You have to take care of it till the time it is able to run on its own, it's able to jump on its own, it's able to do all the things on its own.
Our viewers also would be very interested to know what are the essential documents which they should keep for tax planning and financial purposes, and for also how long should they keep them to avoid any or to tackle any income tax purposes.
See, today everything is digital. So most of the information that you have, right from a invoice to everything that you have, one of the days where everybody used to keep physical papers, because you have to print and keep challans and everything. But general period is around 7 years. You have to keep the documents, okay, if required.
And what are your views on the stipend paid to CA articles?
See, in our company, we have a rule. I believe that people should be dignified enough to have a way of life. So we have a rule where we pay them, whoever it is, we pay them 7,500. So that is because they should be able to fund their own education. They should be able to have whatever they want to do. They should be able to do that. So it is, and after that, after the first year and all, it is as good as an increment. We don't have a stipend kind of a stipend. Even the interns are paid as if they can live because they do whatever they want to do in that kind of an amount. So institute will also upgrade. Institute is also looking at things in a different manner today. They are also like having an after intern only, after IPCC only you can do an internship. So you get people who have some knowledge. So I think institute will also take those measures and start doing justice to what people should be paid. There is a minimum. People should be able to take care of themselves. Then only you can study well. Then only you can do everything in the right.
Right. So, what does your typical workday look like? What's your routine?
See, like I love to go to office. So whenever I'm in Bombay, I travel has increased a lot today. So I don't know where I would be 2 days from now. Yeah, we have opened an office in Dubai. We have an office in Bangalore, so Delhi. So that is wherever somebody calls me, I have to be there. So general, if I'm in office, if I'm in Bombay, I make it a point to go to office. I am always available to all my staff, because they have the first right over me. Even if the topmost person in the country or the topmost CEO or topmost MD of a big company is also sitting in my cabin. And if they have some work with me, it's a, they don't have to knock or they don't have to do anything. They can directly walk in and have access to me. So this is something which I also like and they also like. So that is something which has been a culture in the company and everybody is very happy because of that. And I can proudly say that my team loves to see me in office. So they are not somebody who will get startled or they will start doing something and show and pretend that they're doing something. If suppose two people are talking and if I enter also, they will continue and be very normal with whatever they're doing. So maybe I feel very proud to have been able to build that kind of product where people are not scared of me, but they want me to be in office.
So moving towards cloud project, like I believe it's in the cloud computing business. What trends should entrepreneurs see in the cloud computing space?
It is not into cloud computing. It is basically into, we have got 6 products in that. So one of the products is about OCR, HTR, and written text recognition. So it's called JIL. So that is one. And the other one is a storage. We have a dashboard which is called as Rockwell. So all this, everything will gradually like move to the cloud. So taking care of your data in the cloud, knowing where your data is, knowing what is the health of your data, how to retrieve it as and when you want it. So all that will be of prime importance going forward. So these products are built upon because next 5 years I see a digital revolution happening in India, where all maybe there is a judicial system where there are 5,000 crore pages which needs to be digitized. But only digitization and digitizing is and creating a digital dump of a physical data doesn't make sense. So making that data meaningful is what we do as cloud module. So the product Jill, Dropbolt and all that are related to the post-scanning activities after digitization. So making data meaningful.
Okay. What's a misconception about this space which movers have, which you would like to clarify?
Which makes cloud computing.
Cloud computing.
People are very scared about what will happen if to their data. That I believe is not required to be thought of. You have to, security should always be about of prime importance. It should not be an afterthought. We should be very careful because that would be the real game changer going forward. If you see, whoever has the data is the king today.
Yeah. And how should they be wary of cyber attacks and cyber security?
So cybersecurity, these things will keep happening. See, whenever there is good, there is evil as well. So you have to take means and we have to use license versions because somewhere in India we try to create hacks of our own where we get joy in saving money where it is not required to be saved. We might spend on something which is totally not required. Maybe for a marriage, we might spend a crore or 2 crore of rupees, but we might not spend around 1,700 rupees for a Microsoft license. Because if you are able to hack that, now we derive a different sense of pride and pleasure. I was able to do that. Maybe you might not pay for a Netflix for a subscription. You might not pay for your Apple Music because you will try to, because that gives you a different kind of a pleasure. And it is not about individual mindset, but it is about where we are living. You might have seen so many of your friends boasting about whatever they are able to take a way out of it.
Yeah.
So it is means maybe in the next 3 to 5 years, everything will change around that as well. Because licensing, having authenticity, and having the right thing and doing the right thing will be, the shift will be that people will shift to doing the right thing, having the right thing.
I also think that you believe that collaborations with the right guys is the way to go ahead. How do you and your co-founders align your visions towards the same direction?
See, you come together and then you make it right. You can't get and analyze so much about a person and then feel that everything will be. So I think building partnerships is like marriage. And in India, there is a lot of respect and getting into a marriage is like a commitment that you take for life.
Okay.
And there will be ups and downs, but you have to talk it out and you have to come out of your own. And there will be also times where you'll have to let go of things and things might not work. So you have to also take that step back, and if it is not working, you have to go your own ways. That is also, there is no means the biggest of the biggest people are also not in sync today. So you can't keep a grudge against that, or you can't keep repenting, or you can't keep crying over the fact that this didn't work out. Look at the positive side of life. Keep moving. Good things will happen to you, and good people will come your way. So those who are not right will automatically get filtered out. You don't have to do anything. So time takes care of everything. So you have to keep doing your work. Continue to be the person that you are. Don't let a bad experience change the person that you are. Continue to be who you are. The right people and the right stars will align to you. And the only way that is the way forward. Don't look back. Take these experiences and don't make repeat their mistakes. That is what I would like to say. You can't get a somebody who is picture perfect and aligns with you in, in sync, totality. But whatever you have, make the most out of it.
Yeah, like your history said, it's like a marriage, so you work your way around it.
Yeah, you have to work your way around. There is no other option.
And having worked with big organizations like Hiranani, what practices should SME enterprises incorporate to scale to that level?
See, you try to build your company on processes, because once you, when you're small, now you don't pay attention to the little details. You try to get as many people on board. You try to, because you feel that you are on a mission to board more people, but that balance should always be there. It should always have more people doing the work for you than the work that you have. Should always have a means people on the bench, people who are there who might get trained and get up there when there is an attrition or something. So you should build your company on processes, because we grew at such a fast pace. So today we are trying to get into a mode where we are trying to automate a lot of things. We are trying to create a dashboard for us to see what is happening. Because it's very difficult to remember everything. Because when you are starting on your own, you feel that you can remember everything, you can do everything, you can have a hang of everything, what is happening, where it is happening, and all that. But it is not easy. If you put that in a process, then only you can scale up. So the system should take care of everything. We should, means everybody should be knowing what they're supposed to do, when they are supposed to do, how they are supposed to do, and that can only happen if you've documented them. But different people come with different mindsets, different people. It's not easy to take care of a large team. So motivation, if you can speak to them, they will be motivated at that point in time. Tomorrow is a different day. So they wake up, they don't know what happens at home with what thing they are coming in mind. But if there is a structure in place, everything is, you can scale up. You can't scale up without a process and structure in place.
And also, financial mismanagement is one of the common things. So, what sound financial practices would you recommend?
See, I don't know what to tell in this fact, because see, in business you have to do what is required. If it works well, everybody praises you. If it doesn't work well, then people will say, "Arey, you shouldn't have done this. This is something that was not right." So, like we have also done things which in the normal course, if I'm just sitting and talking to someone, I will not do. But if I have to take a decision, and some decisions have gone wrong as well. We've lost money also. But that is an experience. If we would have gone on the right manner, so there is nothing called as financial mismanagement as an individual does out of his own free will. So those are business decisions that don't go as per how you have planned. So, but still think over, means try to analyze the pros and cons. And if there is a doubt, speak to people and try to validate and reason it out why you should be doing it or why you should not be doing it.
And also, as a practicing chartered accountant, what one compliance tip you would like to give to these SMEs?
Hire a good chartered accountant, and that is the best, because somebody should take care of all your load. Because if you think, man, see what people do when they start, they think that I should save on whatever possible. But this is that is just a small job. This is just this thing. So what happens once you get into that mode, na, you devote a lot of your time and energy into things which are non-essential to your core business, and you get entangled into some things which are which eats up a lot of your time and energy. So once you hire a good team or hire somebody who is dedicated to that role. Maybe if you don't want to outsource it, have it someone in house who is there with you, who is there to take care of all those things, and you just overview it.
And like you said before, that money is the last thing on your mind. So what does success mean to you beyond the financial?
See, I think there is no perfect definition for success. For me, it is the happiness of the people that I'm associated with, whether it's my clients, whether it's my employees, whether it's my family, or wherever I am. I want to be in a happy zone, and I want people around me also to be happy. I feel very troubled if there is if somebody has some stress on him. So there are like my people also discuss their personal problems. When they are in stress, like I get into that mode also. So there are certain things that I can't discuss here, but I have attended to anything and everything. They also feel comfortable. I also feel that it's my responsibility to help them out with whatever they're going through. Because if you have a challenge on your personal front, you can't work properly. It is a no-brainer. So if you are associated with people, whether it's your client, whether it's your people who are working for you or whoever you are. So one thing that I can proudly say, even if I go to a department also, people are happy to have me there. If I go wherever I go, people are happy to have me there. And I also feel happy to be there. There's never been a situation where I feel awkward or they feel awkward. So I try to create my own happy space and be there for people.
So having such a busy schedule, how do you relax and unwind outside of?
So every Friday evening, I watch a movie with my daughter. So that is exactly at home or sit at home. But all any comedy movie comes, you go to the theater. So she doesn't like to watch anything which is a little bit also violent. There are movies which we have gone and seen twice or thrice together because it is a joy to watch her watching a movie, which is a very funny movie. The way she smiles, the way she gets engaged in the movie, it is unbelievable. Then we go out sometimes. I talk to a lot of people keep calling me, so there is a lot of engagement on that front where we speak a lot. I am still connected with most of my school friends. I'm still connected with most of my college friends. So all that helps me relax. But more so is from the like I've conducted my business also like a director. So when I'm watching a movie also, I try to anticipate what will happen next. What will happen next? So it keeps me engaged. It keeps me engaged. It keeps me exciting. So I feel very good doing that. So when she was growing up, she'll be 12 in March. Right from 4 or 5, we used to have this habit of watching a movie together. So what I used to do, if the movie was not interesting, I should tell something about my childhood, my story. So she has covered almost all my friends, and she knows all the it's like the good times that we had, the bad times that we had, the funny times that we had. And whenever we are watching a movie, also I was made her watch Govinda movies and Kishore Kumar movies and all that. So I tell her a story about when I watched this movie, and I try to give a commentary around it. So that becomes more entertaining for her to watch a movie with me. So my she also looks up to Friday nights. I also look up to Friday nights because so I am very is more of a family man. So then my neighbor's daughter also waits for me. She's now 5 years old. Like if I don't reach home on time, she'll also do a video call. So like everybody at home, the children, her friends, my daughter's friends are my friends. So I try to get along. I get along very well with kids and all. So that is how I unwind.
So you just mentioned that your daughters also about your bad times. Would you also like to share some of your tough times with the reviewers and how you were resilient in such times?
So tough times, I always believe it will go through. It's like my dad lost his job when I was in the 10th standard. So I'm someone who took up a job. Because I was not aware what a position is at home. So I gave my board exams, and next morning 9 o'clock I have joined the job. I was in a company where I had to sit on a lathe machine. I have to put that A4 size papers inside the machine, and that is to get cut. And that whole vacation, I have done that job. I've done catering. I've taken tuitions. So taking tuitions was a game changer for me because I started understanding when I was teaching there.
Okay.
So I used to mud up like anything. If you can give me a book, I can tell you where it starts, where it ends, what pictures are there. If you tell me the page number, I can tell start to end without knowing what does it mean.
You have a photographic memory?
I have a decent memory, but school days were like that. So, but when I started teaching, and I became very famous when I was teaching, so I started making more money than what my father used to make in tuitions. So when I was in 11th standard, so there were two children. and they both got percentages which their parents also didn't think of. The girl was in the third standard. She was in the range of 70 to 75. So the second interest that I started taking the tuition, she got around 93 that time. So I became very famous in that area. And I was a very shy kid. So everybody started telling me that you have to take our kids also. So I myself went to the 12th, and then I said, I can't take. She said, nothing doing. You have to continue till the time she reaches 10th. And money was there. So she said, all these children will come at one house and you take whenever you have time. And the biggest incentive for me was they used to give good breakfast. And I used to go for that. I used to feel because every day, because there's two kids are there. So in the evening, there's a Gujarati family. So if one child says that I want to eat masala dosa and the other says I want to eat samosa, so I would be getting both. I used to wait when both are telling different things. So it was like a very enjoyable experience. So when I was in the 12th standard, I used to take tuitions. When I was doing my articleship, I used to leave home in the morning at 7 o'clock for college. Then I used to come back. I used to only attend the first two lectures. When the break was there, I used to come home and I used to take tuitions for the primary students. Then I used to go have food and go for my articleship. And during the lunchtime of my articleship, I used to take tuitions for the secondary students. So because of that, studies took a backseat. Because I also started feeling like I'm taking care of the family and all that. You feel that at that young age. So you should always prioritize your studies because once that happens, everything else falls into place very fast. But people don't understand. Like as children, I don't believe that people will understand what is required, what is not required. But God has been very kind. I could restart my career and restart my studies and clear that.
So this although brings us to the end of our podcast. Do you have any parting views for our viewers, mainly aspiring entrepreneurs?
Yeah, only one thing that believe in yourself and believe that everything will work for you. And when you believe 100%. So I don't know whether you're aware or not. I'm somebody who cleared my CA also with the 13th attempt.
Oh,
So I took, and in that also, means for good from 2001 to 2005, I didn't study only.
okay.
Because as I told you, when I was working in college, I didn't get time to do what I was supposed to do in college. But for me, God has always been with me. So He gave me a job where I got to do everything that I couldn't do in college. So I thought that it is God's way of telling me you enjoy yourself. So I literally have not touched my books and gone for exams. But I used to enjoy so much because Apone was at its peak that time when I joined in 2001. Its go-karting and everything was at its peak. And I was sent to Heiko as an auditor. So I used to get the best of food over there as well. So any sample that you took, because now so it is different. But when I was growing up, the way I used to eat, people used to remember me and want to feed me with whatever they can. Because I used to enjoy. If I like something, I used to repeat that so many times. So people used to remember me and always make me eat. And I was into sports and all. So I could take down anything. That Heiko, whatever samples used to come, I was always given and everything was kept for me as well. I thought that this is the best thing that can happen to me. So after that work wise, I was the best. So people used to give me the best of the work. So I thought, okay, now I have to have a degree as well. Okay, why being a South Indian, in there, if you don't have food to eat also, it's okay, but you need a degree. So then I again joined classes and all, and I told everybody that this is not my cup of tea, I am not able to do. So the social pressure around me, because in CA, the biggest difficulty and problem that you have is when you say that you're doing CA, and if you don't clear, if you do CA also, that is also a huge amount of respect. But when you don't clear, then people start calling you and asking you. That becomes, it plays on your mind very heavily, and you start losing confidence. So as an organization today, we are taking care of people who are not able to clear. We are helping them. We are keeping them with us and giving them that cushion that you have something to look forward to come to, and you take care of that. We'll take care of you till the time you clear your CA. Don't have to worry about it. Yeah.
Thank you, Arun sir, for joining us today and sharing your valuable insights. I don't need to wish you luck because I'm sure you already believe it is going to happen.
Absolutely.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
The same here, same here. Thank you so much. And this is one of the first thing that I'm doing something like this. But even I would love that my story goes out. More people start believing that whatever they want, it is possible. So that is what I want to create a world around me where more people start believing we are able to impact. Our story goes out. Like somebody as ordinary as me can be able to come this far. So it is 100% possible with everybody who is listening to this, who is watching this. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for watching this episode till the very end. If you found this episode to be valuable and insightful, then please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, as your support will help us grow and bring you more insightful conversations. Please also share your takeaways from this episode in the comment section below. We are inviting entrepreneurs from all walks of life. If you or someone you know would be interested to be a speaker in our podcast, then please fill the Google form as seen in the description below. We will reach out. Thank you. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.